My fiancé texted, "Skip your mom's funeral. My work gala is more important." I replied, "You're right, priorities matter." Then I attended my mother's funeral, read her will aloud to family, and made one phone call. When my fiancé arrived at the gala, her boss was waiting with very different news. I, 32 male, buried my mother 3 days ago. She fought pancreatic cancer for 14 months, and in the end she went peacefully with me holding her hand. I'm still processing, but something happened that I need to get off my chest because I genuinely don't know if I handled it right or went too far. Quick background. My mom was a retired corporate attorney who spent her last 20 years doing pro bono work and sitting on nonprofit boards. She wasn't flashy about money, drove a 12-year-old sedan, lived in the same modest house my whole life. What I didn't fully understand until recently was how much she'd quietly accumulated and where it all went. My fiancé and I have been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. She works as a senior account manager at a marketing firm. Her job is her identity. Every conversation circles back to her clients, her campaigns, her networking. I accepted it because I thought we balanced each other out. I'm in IT consulting, work from home mostly, keep things low-key. The problem started when my mom got sick. My fiancé was impatient about it. Another hospital visit? You're spending another weekend there? When is this going to be over? She never said it cruelly, exactly, but the sighs and the eye rolls added up. When my mom passed last week, I called my fiancé from the hospital. Her response, "Oh no, babe, that's really sad. Hey, I'm in a meeting, can we talk tonight?" She came home that night and spent 45 minutes venting about a difficult client before asking how I was doing. 45 minutes. The funeral was scheduled for Saturday. My fiancé's company was hosting their annual charity gala the same evening. She'd been talking about this gala for months. It's a big deal for her firm, lots of networking. Her boss was going to introduce her to some major potential clients. Thursday morning, she sat me down. "Okay, so I've been thinking," she started. "The funeral is at 2 p.m. The gala starts at 7. There's no way you can do both." I stared at her. "The gala? It's the biggest event of our year. My boss specifically asked me to bring you because some of the donors are in tech. You could network, make connections. It's important for US. My mother's funeral is Saturday." "I know, but funerals are for closure, right? You can get closure other ways. Visit the grave later, have a private moment. The gala is one night only." I genuinely couldn't speak for a few seconds. She kept going. "Look, I'm not saying don't grieve. I'm saying be strategic. Your mom would want you to think about your future. Our future. You want me to skip my mother's funeral for your work party? It's not a party, it's a professional networking." "I'm going to my mother's funeral." Her face hardened. "Fine, then I'll go to the gala alone. But don't complain later when my career stalls because you couldn't support me on one important night." She left for work. I sat there for a long time. That afternoon, she texted me. "Been thinking, you should really skip the funeral. My work gala is more important for our future. Your mom is gone either way. The gala matters." I read it maybe 10 times. Screenshot it. Then I replied, "You're right, priorities matter." She sent back a heart emoji. What she didn't know was that I'd already had a very interesting conversation with my mother's estate attorney 2 days prior. And what she definitely didn't know was the connection between my mother's charitable work and her company's biggest client. Update 1. The funeral. Saturday came. I put on my suit, drove to the funeral home, and said goodbye to the woman who raised me alone after my dad left when I was 6. My mom worked 3 jobs to put me through college. She never complained, never played victim, just handled it. Watching people line up to share stories about her generosity, strangers whose legal fees she'd waived, families she'd helped pro bono, I realized how little I'd truly known about the scope of her kindness. My fiancé didn't come, didn't even text that morning. She was getting her hair done for the gala. After the service, my uncle, my mom's younger brother, gathered the immediate family for the will reading. My mom had requested it happen the same day, while everyone was together. Her attorney, an old colleague of hers, handled it. Most of it was straightforward. The house went to me. Her car went to my cousin who'd just gotten her license. Small cash gifts to various family members. Donations to 3 nonprofits she'd supported for years. Then came the part that made my jaw drop. My mother had a stock portfolio worth $2.3 million. She'd been quietly investing for 30 years, living well below her means, letting it compound. Half was going into a charitable trust. The other half, $1.15 million, was mine. But there was a condition. The attorney read it aloud. To my son, I leave the remainder of my investment portfolio with the following guidance. This money is for your future and the future of any family you build with someone who values you completely. I have watched your current relationship with concern. If, at the time of my death, you are still with this person, I ask that you take time to reflect on whether she sees you or simply what you can provide. You deserve someone who shows up. I hope you find them. The room went quiet. My aunt put her hand on my shoulder. My uncle just nodded slowly, like he'd been waiting for this. My mom knew. She'd seen it all along. After the reading, I stepped outside and made a phone call. Not to my fiancé. To someone else entirely. See, here's what my fiancé never bothered to learn about my mother. For the last 8 years, my mom sat on the board of a nonprofit called the Regional Children's Literacy Foundation. It's one of the most respected children's charities in our area. And my fiancé's marketing firm? Their single biggest client, accounting for roughly 40% of their annual revenue, is that exact foundation. My mother wasn't just a board member, she was the board chair. The new chair, appointed 2 weeks before my mom passed, was my mom's closest friend. A woman who'd known me since I was a kid. A woman who'd met my fiancé twice and reported back to my mom that she seemed cold and transactional. I called her. Hey, it's me. Yeah, the service was beautiful. Listen, I need to tell you something about tonight's gala. I told her about the text, about being asked to skip my mother's funeral for a networking event, about the 4 years of subtle dismissiveness, the impatience with my mom's illness, the complete absence of empathy. She listened without interrupting. Then she said, "Your mother was worried about this. She talked to me about it. She didn't want to interfere, but she hoped you'd eventually see it yourself. I see it now. What do you want to do?" I want her to understand that actions have consequences, that you can't treat people like props in your career and expect no fallout. Long pause. Then, the foundation's been considering switching marketing firms anyway. Your mother had concerns about some of their recent campaigns, too focused on corporate donors, not enough on the actual mission. I was going to wait until after the transition, but if you want, I can have that conversation tonight, at the gala, with her boss. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Was this revenge? Was it petty? No, it was truth. My fiancé chose her priorities. Now she'd see what that choice cost. Do it, I said. Update 2. The gala and after. I wasn't there for what happened next, but I heard about it from 3 different sources, including my fiancé herself in a voicemail meltdown. The gala started at 7 p.m. My fiancé showed up in a new dress she'd bought specifically for the event, $800, charged to the credit card I pay off monthly. She was ready to shine, to network, to show her boss what a valuable asset she was. Around 8:30 p.m., the foundation's new board chair arrived. She made the rounds, chatted with donors, then asked to speak with my fiancé's boss privately. The conversation lasted 20 minutes. When it ended, my fiancé's boss pulled her aside. According to witnesses, his face was ashen. "We need to talk, now." They stepped into a side room. My fiancé thought she was about to be praised, maybe even promoted. Instead, the foundation is terminating their contract with us, effective immediately. They're citing misalignment of values and concerns about organizational culture. My fiancé, what? Why? What does that have to do with me? Apparently everything. The new board chair just told me that the former chair, the woman who died this week, was someone's mother, and that someone is your fiancé, and that you told him to skip his mother's funeral to come to this gala tonight. Silence. Is that true? My fiancé tried to spin it. I mean, I suggested he could do both. I didn't say skip it. She showed me the text message, screenshot. Skip the funeral. My work gala is more important. More silence. We just lost 40% of our annual revenue because you couldn't show basic human decency to your own partner during the worst week of his life. Do you understand what you've done? My fiancé started crying. Tried to explain that it was a misunderstanding, that she was stressed, that she didn't mean it the way it sounded. Her boss cut her off. I don't care what you meant. I care about what you did and what it cost this company. HR will be in touch Monday morning. She left the gala early. Called me 16 times. I didn't answer. She left voicemails ranging from tearful apologies to furious accusations. How could you? You sabotaged my career. You went behind my back. This is psychotic. Then an hour later, baby, please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I was stressed about the gala. I wasn't thinking clearly. Can we talk? Please? Then at 2 a.m., you've ruined my life. I hope you're happy. Your dead mother would be so proud of what you've become. I screenshot that one too. For the lawyers. Update 3, the fallout. It's been 5 days since the gala. Here's where everything stands. My fiancé was put on administrative leave Monday morning, pending an internal review. The official reason is conduct unbecoming of a company representative. But everyone knows the real story. Office gossip moves fast. By Tuesday, the whole firm knew that their biggest account walked because of something she did. She showed up at my apartment Tuesday evening. I'd already changed the locks. She had a key, and I didn't trust her not to let herself in while I was out. She pounded on the door for 10 minutes. Open the door. We need to talk. I spoke through the door. We don't have anything to talk about. The relationship is over. You can't just end things like this. We're engaged. You told me to skip my mother's funeral. You called my dead mother a prop for your career advancement. We're done. I was stressed. People say things they don't mean when they're stressed. You meant every word. You've meant every dismissive comment for 4 years. I just finally listened. Her mother showed up an hour later. That was fun. You need to fix this, she said through the door. My daughter's career is in shambles because of you. Your daughter's career is in shambles because she told her fiancé to skip his mother's funeral for a work party. That's not my problem. You're being vindictive. You're trying to destroy her. Ma'am, I made one phone call. I told the truth to someone who asked. Everything that happened after that is a consequence of your daughter's choices. This is defamation. We'll sue. Truth is a defense against defamation. Feel free to try. She left, but not before screaming in the hallway loud enough for my neighbors to hear that I was a monster and a manipulative narcissist. One neighbor actually poked his head out, saw what was happening, and said, "Dude, you okay? Should I call someone?" God bless that guy. Wednesday, my fiancé's best friend reached out. Different approach. Calm, reasonable, trying to mediate. Look, I know she messed up, but she's devastated. She's probably going to lose her job. Don't you think you've punished her enough? I didn't punish her. I told the truth to a family friend who happens to work with a nonprofit that was already considering switching firms. The rest happened naturally. But you knew what would happen. I knew there might be consequences. I didn't orchestrate them. I just didn't protect her from them. That's cold. So is telling someone to skip their mother's funeral. She didn't have a response to that. Yesterday I got an email from my ex-fiancé's attorney. Yes, she actually hired a lawyer. The letter demanded $15,000 for economic damages related to her career, return of the engagement ring, which I bought, so no, a written apology for tortious interference with her employment. My mother's estate attorney, who's now handling my stuff too, sent back a response. It was polite, professional, and devastating. Your client's claims are without merit. My client made no false statements. He shared truthful information about his personal life with a family friend. Any business decisions made by third parties based on that information are not actionable. Furthermore, the engagement ring was a gift, and gifts given in contemplation of marriage that is terminated by the recipient's egregious conduct are not subject to return in this jurisdiction. We recommend your client cease contact and focus on personal reflection. Radio silence since then. My ex-fiancé was officially terminated yesterday. Apparently the internal review didn't go well. Turns out when they started looking closely at her work, they found some other issues. Padding expense reports, taking credit for junior employees' ideas, a pattern of small ethical shortcuts that added up. The foundation account loss was the trigger, but it wasn't the only problem. She's telling everyone who'll listen that I destroyed her, that I used my family connections to sabotage her career, that I'm a vindictive, controlling monster who couldn't handle a strong woman prioritizing her career. Here's the thing though, I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped protecting her from herself. She made a choice. She decided that a networking event was more important than supporting me at my mother's funeral. She said it out loud, put it in writing, and didn't think twice about it. That choice revealed who she really is. The consequences that followed came from that revelation, not from anything I manufactured. My mom was right. She saw it before I did. She tried to tell me in her own gentle way, asking pointed questions, expressing concern about the wedding timeline, suggesting I really think about what I wanted. I wish I'd listened sooner. The $1.15 million is sitting in an investment account. I haven't touched it. Don't need to right now. But knowing it's there, knowing my mom spent her whole life building something to give me options, makes me want to use it wisely. Not on someone who sees me as a networking opportunity. I'm not doing great, honestly. Losing my mom and my relationship in the same week is a lot. Some nights I wonder if I went too far, if I should have just ended things quietly instead of letting the dominoes fall. But then I remember that text, skip the funeral, my work gala is more important. And I remember that she never apologized. Not really. Every sorry was followed by an excuse, a justification, a redirect to how she was the real victim. Entitled people don't change because they face consequences. They just find new people to blame. My mom deserved someone at her funeral who loved her son. My ex-fiancée couldn't even pretend to be that person for one day. Priorities matter. She was right about that. She just didn't realize hers would cost her everything. Thanks for reading. Time to figure out what comes next.